Hey everybody, Steven here, and for today's video review, I actually picked up a pre-workout from Walmart. So this is 6 Star is the name of the company, Pro Nutrition, and the name of the pre-workout is Pre-Workout Explosion, which is this right here. They had the bombsicle flavor, so I wanted to try that today. This is it right here. Just based off taste, I can tell you that it does. It almost tastes like if you took a bombsicle and then just let it melt and then like took that because it's more like syrupy, mixed it with water, and then like you would taste the flavor of that. So it's almost like the Kool-Aid version of it, right? So it tastes decent in my opinion. Not a huge fan of dyes when they put them in there, but I get it. They're wanting it to look like something instead of just clear. This has 33 servings in it, not 30. So they say that you get a bonus amount with that extra 3 scoops. So with this, we have no calories, no carbs, no sugar. They're sweetening this with sucralose. Not the biggest fan of sucralose, but the industry isn't switching over to stevia. And the companies that are, they haven't quite nailed down the taste. There's a couple out there that have, but it's just harder for them to nail down the taste with that. Right off the bat with this, there's a bunch of stuff in here, but I do want to talk about the pre-workout explosion blend. So this is a proprietary supplement, just meaning they're not telling you exactly everything that's in it. They do with half of it, which is weird, and then the other half they don't. With the pre-workout explosion blend, it's at the very bottom because it has the lowest amount, but caffeine anhydrous is the first thing that you're going to see here. So 135 milligrams of caffeine, and that is out of the 255 milligrams that they're saying is their explosion blend, right? So after that, we have choline bitrate and L-tyrosine, which are going to be the lower amounts. You don't know the exact amount of that, but obviously I can take that 135 milligrams, subtract it from 255, and then see that choline bitrate is going to be the most, or the majority of that. L-tyrosine will be a little bit less of that. So with this, 135 milligrams of caffeine, not a ton of caffeine when you're looking at a lot of these other pre-workouts. And that's okay, because I would actually recommend this for somebody that doesn't want a ton of caffeine, right? There's some people out there that are a little bit more caffeine sensitive. You don't need 300 milligrams of caffeine, and you're going to want to find a product that maybe has less with that. On the flip side of that, though, I could just buy one that does have a lot in it and then just not take as much. But maybe you're not going to get as much of some of the other things that are in this product, okay? So with that out of the way, let's start at the top here. So we have beta-alanine here, and I'm going to refer to my huge little notepad deal that has all of my stuff in it, which is kind of what I use to backtrack and keep tabs on all this information, just because at a certain point I've memorized some of it, but then it kind of gets lost in the weeds when you're trying to recall what every single compound does, right? But we are starting to see some of these are in every single supplement line, if they're pre-workout or post-workout, whatever it is. So first thing we have in here, beta-alanine, 1.5 grams, 150 milligrams. So with that one, we're seeing muscular endurance. It actually gives you that tingling sensation, right? And you'll see a lot of athletes are wanting to take this. The stuff I've seen is at a higher amount. Usually it's like 2 to 3 grams for some of the studies. I've tagged it and put it in some of the description box of some of the other supplement reviews that I do, but looking at examine.org is a good website that you can go to find some of this information, because they essentially compile all the research and then give you all those papers so you can go look through all of them, right? So we have beta-alanine first. After that, we have creatine monohydrate. That's also at 1.5 grams, so 1,500 milligrams. Pretty popular supplement, right? And there's a lot more studies behind creatine monohydrate than there are things like beta-alanine. And with this, that is what your body slowly converts into creatinophosphate, and your body uses that under anaerobic metabolism. So when you're lifting, you're actually using anaerobic metabolism, meaning that you're not using oxygen, right? You're using glycogen and things like creatinophosphate to provide energy so that you can lift that weight or sprint, right? Or do whatever activity you're doing, but it requires more oxygen than there is supply. After that, we have L-arginine alpha ketoglutarate, AKG. We have 1.1 grams of that, so 1100 milligrams. So arginine gets converted over to nitric oxide by the liver, or by the kidneys, sorry. And with that, it essentially gives you that pump that bodybuilders are after, right? So seeing that in a lot of other supplements, and you're actually seeing that stacked with other things, which I'll get to next with their advanced pump complex, which is only 500 milligrams, which is really, really low for what they're putting in here. Out of that, taurine is the first one, which is an antioxidant and brain stimulant. You're seeing that in a lot of different products now, where they're like Alpha Brain, for instance, where they're nootropics. They're essentially stimulating your brain but without caffeine. But taurine was one of those. And with that, you're usually seeing the studies, and you're even seeing that in the supplements, more at the 1 gram mark. Out of the the 4 things that are in this advanced pump complex, they're splitting that between 500 milligrams. So that's a super, super low dose with that. So it's not something that I'm going to bank on the effects of this, right? 500 milligrams, anything that's listed first gets the most. So let's say, I don't know, 250, 300 milligrams go to taurine. That's just not quite up there with what we're seeing with the studies and where you're actually getting that benefit. After that, it's still going to work in your body. It's just whether or not that's going to be the amount that you need to get maximum benefit, right? After that, we have L-citrulline. So L-citrulline and L-citrulline malate, both of those are getting converted into arginine in the body, and then those are getting converted by the kidneys into nitric oxide, thus giving you the pump. What I see is a lot of stacking with these products, where they're going to give you arginine, citrulline, citrulline malate, all these different things, and they're trying to stack it so that they can almost smooth all of that out so it lasts a little bit longer, because your body's processing those in different time intervals. That way you don't have a huge spike and then it crashes. They kind of have just a longer kind of arch that they're going to follow with that. So it's in there, it's a lower amount. And then they even put L-arginine, HCl, hydrochloride in there, and that being another one that's just going to convert into nitric oxide in the body. And if you're looking at the metabolic pathways with all that stuff, there's so much overlapping in all of that. What this gets converted to this, to this, to this, to this, all that stuff. It's all heading towards nitric oxide. And with that, like I said, you're really just getting the pump, but they do have that layered in there. It's just lesser amounts. I mean, even with L-citrulline or citrulline malate, usually you're seeing with products, it's 6 grams. This probably has 200 milligrams, 150 milligrams maybe. So obviously that is a lot less. So I'm not really banking on that, but it is still doing all of that in my body, right? I just might not notice the huge effect of that. And then we have that pre-workout explosion blend that I talked about in this. So L-tyrosine in that one. So it's a precursor to stimulatory neurotransmitter. So it's giving you that focus, that alert, that cognition that you're wanting with this. Yeah, and I don't think I have that one in there. So it's good. Even with that though, L-tyrosine, like some of the stuff that I've researched and that we're looking at, it's just, there's a lot more, like it's usually a gram. Like I bet there's probably maybe 50 milligrams of that in here. So that's just way, way off of that. But like I said, if somebody's taking this and they're just super caffeine sensitive, this might be the route to go for you, right? I know my wife doesn't want a huge amount of caffeine if she's going to take a product like this before a workout. So with this would be safer. Now, if she wanted more, she could always stack also. I could take 2 servings of this and still be at what, 270 milligrams of caffeine. And at that point, now I'm getting 3 grams of beta-alanine, 3 grams of creatine, 2.2 of L-arginine, right? You're getting a gram of that advanced pump complex, so we are getting more and more. So you could stack this, but you're going to run through this bottle a lot quicker with that. So decent product, especially for the price, and that's the kicker. This was $14 at Walmart. If you're on a budget, like, and you want to grab something, this isn't that bad, to be honest. I don't know the quality of the ingredients, just like I don't know the quality of the other ingredients. Just because with that, I can't test this. I don't have a lab. I don't have the money to do that. So I'm not gonna run this down to the lab and try and figure out if all of these are the most pure form of that. And the other thing is supplements in general aren't regulated by the FDA. So I am trusting that this company is putting everything that they're saying in here. And that's across the board. That's just regardless of the product, right? With that. So, don't think, here we go. The last one I wanted to talk about, I was trying to look for it, but it is in the pre-workout explosion blend. I don't know the amount with it, but it's choline bitartrate, and this one is probably the same thing. It's probably maybe 50 milligrams, maybe less. Usually you're seeing it at the 1 to 2 mark for an improvement in cognition. It turns into acetylcholine, which is also known as the learning neurotransmitter. It reduces fatty liver buildup. It's such a low amount. It's happening. It's just whether or not you're actually getting the full benefit of that. So that's everything that's in here. Other ingredients: citric acid, natural and artificial flavors. I have no idea what that means. That's one of those industry words that I wish would go away. And then we're looking at things like maltodextrin, silicon dioxide, all these other things, and they have a couple of them, but those are malic acid. They're preservatives, okay? Big one in here is the FD&C blue #1, which is what's giving it that blue color. Not a huge fan of the dyes, but can't really do much with that. So, now that you know what is in it, what it does for your body, do I think this is a decent buy? Yes, especially considering the price, but this being more specific to somebody that doesn't want a high amount of caffeine or maybe is on a budget, right? You can find a lot of good pre-workouts on all of that if you're willing to spend even just $5-10 more on Amazon. But I understand some people, maybe they don't have an Amazon Prime account, so they're going to pay for $50, and now that cost is a lot more. So if you're just wanting something quick, you can pick this up, like I said, from Walmart. It's decent. It's not bad. And knowing who this is intended for is going to make it a little bit easier. If you're somebody that's already taken a ton of different various pre-workouts that have 300 milligrams and all this other stuff like pre-gym or something like that, this isn't for you. You're going to end up taking like 5 scoops of this stuff or something like that just to get that same type of feeling and the same amount of ingredients as some of those other products. So really not for you. Taste is good. It's not bad. Especially like I said, for that lower 14 price mark. I mean, I actually think this tastes pretty good. So that is it, guys. If you guys have any questions about this product or anything like that, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm actually going to try some of the other products of theirs just to see, because they're getting more. They actually got some of the I'm forgetting the name of the brand. I've done another video review for their branched chain amino acid supplement line, and they're getting some of that stuff there also, and it's for the same price that you're finding it on Amazon. So hopefully their selection does expand with that. So curious to see. But in the meantime, I want to review some of these just to kind of see, for something that anybody can buy it and go to Walmart and buy it, is it worth the money? And who is it for, really, right? So if you guys like the video, please hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all of my content, please hit the subscribe button for me. And thank you so much for watching.